What's going on, fam? So I wanted to get on here and make another video. I've been away for a couple weeks now with the videos. The market has just been absolutely, crazy. It's been up, it's been down. I know that the last time we spoke, we were talking about, the 10-year yield was really making the markets get a little nervous as it was rising up so fast. And, a lot of the stocks in the NASDAQ were taking a hit, the Qs were taking a big hit. But I mean, the main focus of this video is I just kind of wanted to get on here and talk a little bit about GameStop and the madness that has been going on with with what's going on. I mean, we seen it sell off here. Let me pull up the daily chart here. We seen it sell off pretty bad after the earnings report. I think it got all the way down to 120. And then today, just out of nowhere, just started, absolutely going to the freaking moon. Um, wow. So, it's just crazy. If I could talk a little bit off record and not, so much technical uh so much technical talk and really looking at all the the short interest and this and that and looking at the chart and just kind of giving my theory. The stock market has been doing as a whole. We've seen the rotation of money kind of leaving out of tech and leaving these growth stocks and heading over into other industries. But for the most part, before earnings report, GameStop has sort of been holding its levels, which I thought was kind of funny because I mean, if you really want to break it down, you would figure GameStop would be one of the stocks that would have been hit the worst during the last, I guess, 2 or 3 weeks now that we've been kind of just selling off. But it was been holding strong. They did have earnings report. They actually, I mean, they weren't terrible. They're not going to be great, obviously, of course, because a lot of their stores were closed down during last year. But I know that their online sales numbers, their e-commerce business was up like 33% or something like that. But to get into like, the nitty gritty of GameStop here and to really go on about, what I think and, just what I think in general about the stock is, a lot of these stocks are selling off and could we have, a bigger problem here? Could hedge funds and the market makers actually be in a little bit more deeper than they want everybody to think? Could they be selling off some of these other stocks, shorting these other stocks to free up some cash flow to pay for a big short squeeze on GameStop and AMC as well? We don't know. I don't know. Obviously, of course, I can just guess, but it just seems weird that growth stocks are selling off. Okay, so let me take that narrative. So growth stocks are selling off. The market is obviously being shorted as a whole. A big pullback. First they were saying it was because of the 10-year. Okay, with the last 2 days that the 10-year has been down, you would imagine that the Qs and the Nasdaq and the growth stocks would have just immediately skyrocketed back up, but they did not. They've been kind of selling off. I mean, today was kind of like an inside day. You had a couple of stocks, that put up some numbers. I mean, Tesla put up a $10 move today. Snow put up a $8 move. Penn, that's just been absolutely getting hammered, put up a $5 move. These are just some of the stocks that I'm watching. And then you have GameStop that just put up a $63, 52% move today, which is just absolutely insane. So, is has this the squeeze been squoze? And I don't think it has. I think you'll know if and when there is a squeeze on GameStop. I think there'll be multiple halts during the trading day, multiple circuit breaker halts during the trading day when and if it does squeeze. Um, but if we do look at the chart here and we look at what's going on with GameStop, let me pull up the hourly chart. So for tomorrow, there's a couple of levels that I really want to look at for tomorrow. And the first level here is going to be this 198 level, 198, 199. This is going to be the 150-day moving average line. I think if GameStop pre-market can open up past this 198, 199 level, I think it's got a great chance at touching 214, which is going to be the 200. Okay. So as we can see here on the hourly chart, the RSI is showing us that we are overbought. So if I could just take a guess, if this thing pre-market is not just skyrocketing through the moon, I think we could see a morning dip right at market open. maybe come down here and touch this 10-day at 173. That's just my, my assumption, my guess, my thought process. I'm thinking, okay, if we're sold off on the hourly chart, we've been kind of sold off. We've been overbought for the last 3 or 4 hours. We could get some kind of sell off in the morning. However, if pre-market opens up, there's a lot of momentum, there's a lot of FOMO, and there's something else bigger going on behind the scenes here with GameStop. We could see this thing shoot up past 198, 199. What I am looking for personally is for this GameStop to kind of take a dip, maybe even into the 178 area, or even retest the 181. Okay. So if we can retest the 180s and then get a nice bounce after that, if you are not in GameStop or you're looking for some levels to maybe get in at, these are some of the levels that I'm going to be taking a look at here. Is definitely, I'm going to be taking a look at 198, 199 level, that resistance area. I'm going to be taking a strong look at that. If we can build up on the 1 hour chart and we can get some follow through, the next level here is 214. And I mean, if we can get through 214, this thing can really, really move tomorrow. I mean, we don't know, or this thing could just sell off all the way back down to 160. I mean, we really don't know. But I mean, what happened today? Markets were down, kind of flat. Well, they were selling off in the morning and then they went kind of flat and then they started ramping up towards the end of the day. But if we pull up the daily chart here, the major next resistance here on the daily is the 199. So if you really think about it, if tomorrow this thing can really get some steam, get some volume behind it, and it can pass and start building above this 199, look at all this room, guys. I mean, look at all this room. I mean, we could, you know, I don't want to make any assumptions, but just basically going off the charts here, I mean, GameStop can make a run all the way to 250, 270, 275, 280. I mean, and if you've got some shorts that are still, in this game, and they're going to be feeling some pain. I mean, they're definitely going to be feeling some pain over 200, over 250. Tomorrow's Friday. I know a lot of these shorts are not going to want to, hold this short position. Retail shorts I'm talking about, because there's a lot of retail shorters that are out there that, oh, GameStop's going all the way back down to 10, going all the way back down to 30, 40, or whatever the case may be. You got guys picking up 1,000 shares of this thing. I mean, they're going to be down 10, 20, 30 grand if this thing can get up over 200 and into the 250s. So, do those guys really want to be carrying all that weight going into the weekend? I mean, I know I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't sleep right. But I mean, just looking at it, if this can start building up over 199, that's definitely going to be a key level. The next level, major level, is going to be this channel here. I mean, this channel here at 281 is going to be the next channel that I'm going to be watching. Now, whether that gets there tomorrow, whether it gets there Monday or not at all, those are definitely the levels. And how you play this is how you play it. I mean, it's never wrong to take profits. If you get in here and you make a cup of coffee on it and you cash out, then more power to you. If you get in here and you're in here for the long haul and you want to hold it, until the end and see what it does, whether you're taking it all the way back down to $40 again, or you're taking this thing all the way to the moon, that's on you. But I just want to go over your levels here. So your major levels of resistance, as you can see, after earnings report, we came down and we kind of sold off here into the 50 day moving average, which is about 117, 121, in that area. And then we got a bounce today. We got a major bounce today. So with that bounce, we came all the way up and we reclaimed the 5-day moving average, which is pretty important for the bulls, pretty important for everybody who's holding on, all the diamond handers out there. This is a big move, reclaiming that 5-day moving average. Next point of attack, is going to be this 199. So if we can open up tomorrow strong or get a bounce, a retest, at the 5-day or at $180, for me personally, I would probably put a stop out and maybe at around, 165, 170, giving it some room to really work. I mean, that's a big risk that I'm going to be willing to take. But the reward with this thing, the reward with GameStop, this is not like any other stock. Any other stocks, You can look at the chart. Um, you can play into resistance, and if you believe that stocks go from supply to supply and demand to demand, you can kind of get a good feel on the technicals on that aspect on any other stock. But with this stock, GameStop, it's a completely different ball game. I mean, this is completely different. I believe that there's a lot more that's to it that the average retail trader doesn't know exactly what's going on. But I do think that there's big money in behind this, and I really do think that this is going to probably make a reattempt to claim 200 tomorrow, and then maybe make a push up. What it does next week, we that time will tell. But the major areas, if you are looking to play this stock, you've got hard resistance here in the 120s, 125s area. I mean, support. You've got major support in the 120 to 129 area. Okay, so you've got resistance and support at 173, and you've got uh, resistance at the 199 area. So those are your levels. I mean, there's no you know trying to figure out what the levels are. There's no trying to figure out what is support, what is resistance. I mean, the resistance and the supports are in the channels. They're in the it's in the chart. So play it smart. Take profits. If this thing shoots up to $400 or $500, don't get caught holding the bag on this thing. I mean, the whole reason why we're in this business is to make money. And if you want to have a long career and you want to be an active trader, and you want to not run out of cash and not blow up your account, definitely want to take profits along the way, especially with the market that we're in here. Until the Qs and the Nasdaq can kind of reclaim that $321 area, we're stuck in a very tight channel from 318 to 315, from 315 to 308. And Nasdaq did a good job today, closing above the 308, working their way up to 311. Tomorrow, let's see what they can do. If they can reclaim that 20-day and keep to build momentum, maybe that was the second double bottom, or maybe not. We get down into 308 and we start going below 308, then 295, 297 on the Nasdaq, on the Qs, is inevitable. I believe that it's going to retest that, but we don't know. you know you can play this market up or down. You don't have to be a bull, you don't have to be a bear. I believe in just taking money where you can. So really play it. But I'd like to know what some of you guys think about GameStop. Do you think the squeeze has been squoze? Do you think there's more room to run? Do you think this thing is gonna retest the 280 area, 300 area? I mean, I don't know. I'm definitely gonna watch it close. I might pick up some contracts at the 300 area if we show some strength and we show some good volume tomorrow, uh, and look to ride those and see what that does. Definitely, I'm not going to, take contracts and hold them all the way back down to 100. I will set a tight stop at probably one of these support levels here, maybe 175, 199. Even a break, even stop if this thing wants to show signs of reversal. But definitely something to keep an eye on. Definitely a bigger picture going on here with GameStop. Do I think that it's over? No, I don't. I mean, this thing could have sold off. They could have hammered this thing into the ground already. But I think there's a lot more going on. I think that they've shorted way more shares than that are available. I think that they're in deep shit. So we really got to keep an eye on it. I mean, this is once in a lifetime opportunity, I think, on GameStop. These things don't come along every so often, and it's like the saying, like, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Like, if this thing goes up to $1,000, you're gonna really wish that you were in it. If this thing goes all the way back down to $20 and you're in it at 300, you're gonna wish you stayed out of it. But the moral of the story is you got to be in the game. You got to you know you got to put on your cleats and go out to the ballpark, to get a chance to be put in the game. You can't be sitting at home, woulda, coulda, shoulda, wishing that you were playing ball. If you want any chance at making any money on this play, now this is very, very speculative play. We don't know what's going to go on with GameStop. This thing can completely sell off. They can completely hammer this thing into the ground, leave everybody holding the bag. But, lessons will be learned. Set your tight stops. Futures look like they're up a little bit, I mean, barely a hair. Um, but I mean, that could mean anything. Futures have been up a little bit, and then in the morning comes, we gap up and then completely sell off the rest of the day. I've seen the futures be red, and the next thing you know, we're gapping down and then working our way back up. So take the futures with a grain of salt. The market is very choppy. It's very all over the place right now. But when it comes to this GameStop, the levels that you really need to be focusing on is 199. Any build over 200, you could look for a retest at one of the upper channels at 250 to 280 area. If the market opens and this thing starts back testing support, we could be looking at the 170, 175 area, looking for a bounce there off the 20. I mean, if you want to get a much stronger pullback, the strong resistance or the strongest support that we've got right now is going to be the 50, and that is going to be at 120. So those are the levels. We'll see what happens. I will definitely be watching GameStop in the morning for pre-market to seeing what it does. I will definitely be taking a look at the NASDAQ, the SPY, and the Russell. The Dow Jones, I'm not too worried about. I don't really keep up. I mean, it's 30 stocks, I don't really keep up with the Dow Jones that much. But uh, on the daily chart, we are not oversold or overbought on GameStop. So there is room to run. The last time we were really, really overbought on GameStop is when we were touching this 250 into 350 area. Okay. So we started going over 70 on the RSI here at 193, 195 into 245, 250, and all the way up into 350. And we kind of stayed overbought in the 280s all the way back down into the 260s. So, I mean, that's just to kind of give you guys a reference point again here. If we do start building over 199, 200, maybe look to take some profits around 250. Maybe look to take some profits around 275. Maybe look for a build over 280 and watch this thing really squeeze up to $300 or $400. Okay. But you don't want to be sitting in this stock going from 183, 199, 215 down to 175, 150. You don't want to be stuck in these channels catching a falling knife going down and down and down. You can always get back in. You can always close your position. Okay. Reevaluate. If this starts to confirm some levels again, you can always jump back in. Okay. You can always jump back in. So don't get caught holding the bag. Keep an eye on those levels. See what the pre-market does. Let me know your thoughts. How high do you think that GameStop's going to go? I will catch you guys on the next video.